Good evening, everyone. I am back with another candle review. This time I will be reviewing Vanilla Eggnog, which is a Bath & Body Works candle. It is one of the 4 candles that I picked up as part of Bath & Body Works Candle Day, or I guess you could say Candle Weekend, really. There just wasn't really anything in this lineup that was super appealing to me. I actually did send my mom out because she lives in a different city than I do. So I did send my mom out to see if she could find a few candles that weren't necessarily part of the lineup, but I was hoping, maybe were, being brought out because they were just old stock, or because I did see them in a couple of hauls from other people. So I did send her out to see if she could find those at a couple of the Bath & Body Works near her. And I believe she did. She won't tell me what she found of the ones that I requested because she's going to use them as Christmas gifts. So we'll have to see around Christmas time what she was able to find. But it sounds like there's at least a couple that she picked up. So that's exciting. But like I said, there just wasn't much that was super appealing to me. In this year's lineup, I did do a pretty large haul last year. But I just thought, I kind of put aside money for my hobby, and obviously within reason, within a budget. So I don't really just allow myself endless spending. So I thought, I would rather dedicate that money to vendor wax pre-orders that'll be coming up in the new year, rather than more Bath & Body Works candles that just aren't really that exciting to me. So I picked up the 4 that I was able to find in my local store, which is actually a Bath & Body Works outlet. I was hoping to find like more of the, the older fragrances, or the ones that weren't necessarily a part of the lineup, but they really didn't actually have a lot. So maybe that wasn't the best Bath & Body Works to go to in retrospect, but I was busy the next couple of days and just didn't really have the drive to try to make it to any of the others. So I got those 4. This was one of them, and I just really went based off of what was appealing to my nose. I am not a Bath & Body Works aficionado by any means. I in the past several years, I have focused much more on vendor wax than any brand wax. So I am not really up to date with what's new, what are repackages. I know Vanilla Eggnog is not new. I'm just not sure when it first came out or how old it is. I really just, when I was buying the candles on Candle Day, I was just going based on what smelled good to me and what I was in the mood for that day, to be totally honest. And I think some days we need that. I think sometimes in our candle world, we're kind of obsessed with getting what's new, smelling what's new, burning what's new. And, whereas it's the general population just kind of goes based off of what smells good. And that's kind of what I did for Candle Day. I took a break from the always seeking something new and different, and I went with whatever smelled good to me. So, and I'm happy that I did. So Vanilla Eggnog, I did watch a couple of reviews on this candle before I actually lit it up. And there was someone, and I cannot remember who, but someone said that they smelled a bit of a plasticky note on cold. They said that it went away on warm, but that it was there on cold. I can confidently say that I did not get any plastic note on cold. If I had smelled plastic, it definitely wouldn't have been one of the candles that I picked up. So I did not personally get that, but that doesn't mean that other people might not. And I can definitely say on warm, I'm not getting any kind of plastic smell at all. So I'm very happy with my purchase with this candle. So this is going to be kind of a slow, relaxed review. My husband is out of town. He's up north working on our house up there. and I am here with my little one. The little one is down to bed. I am working a night shift tomorrow night, which is not something that I typically do, so I don't, I'm not on that schedule, and I don't really try to get myself on that schedule, but I do try to go to bed later the night before I'm working a night shift, so that I'm at least a little bit, more well rested because I've slept later into the day. So I'm trying to keep myself up, and I was kind of it was starting to get sleepy, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a break from watching my show and do this review, and hopefully it will wake me up a little bit and energize me. So yeah, so without any more babbling, I will just get into it. So vanilla eggnog, I would describe this, well, so this is certainly a gourmand, right? I think that goes without saying. But it is not necessarily a bakery gourmand. It's really a beautiful vanilla candle. And that sounds simple, but it's not. It's like a custard vanilla. It's like an eggy, creamy custard vanilla with just a little bit of spice to it. It really does remind me of eggnog the drink. Now, eggnog is not something that I like. Eggnog the beverage is not something that I get super excited about. I've had it a few times. I've tried it. It's not like a have to have during the holiday season for me. But I mean, based on my experience with taste, this candle really does smell how eggnog tastes. That being said, there's a warmth to this. There's like an added warmth to this, and it's hard for me to identify exactly what that is. If it's just, and I it's not just the appearance or the warmth of the candle burning. There's actually a warmth to the notes, I feel. Now the spice that's in here is not, so it's not overly spicy. It's very lightly spiced. It's just like a little bit of a hint of a clove, and perhaps, and a nutmeg. I definitely get a touch of nutmeg in here. But really, first and foremost, is that beautiful, creamy custard vanilla. Custard is a bit hard to describe in a fragrance if you've not smelled it before. To me, a custard, like a vanilla custard, it's just a little bit tangy. If you almost think of like a yogurt, or there's just a little bit of a tang, and then a little bit of like an egginess as well. So it's adding like a depth to that creaminess, an extra layer of creaminess, like a thickness to it. And it's really decadent, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's decadent. I think if you added a little bit of caramel to this candle, it would really be reminiscent of like a creme brulee. It's just a very creamy, decadent vanilla. It is not body care whatsoever. Really enjoyable. And it was strong on cold, so I really did have my fingers crossed for good performance on warm, and that is what happened. That hypothesis ended up being true. It is a very good performer being burned. I would say scent throw in the kitchen is about a 7 or 8, but I'm actually getting a decent amount of fragrance out into my living room as well. Probably like about a 6 or 7 in the living room. So it's not just good fragrance strength, but also the throw itself, as far as like how far it's reaching. It's really performing well. It's a very stark contrast to the Bath and Body Works candle, the Yankee candles that I've been burning over the past couple of months. I've been getting through some of the Yankees that I've bought, and it was just, oh my gosh, I now burning this Bath and Body Works candle and getting such great performance, I realized how much Yankee Candle was like killing my candle buzz, because I was like I've been thinking to myself the past 2 months, I'm like, you know what, maybe I'm just done with candles. Maybe I'm just melting wax and that's it. I'm melting, I'm not burning, because I was getting just irritated with the lack of throw and lack of strength. And this is a good reminder. Now switching gears and burning a Bath and Body Works candle is a good reminder that not all candles are like that, and candles shouldn't be like that, right? This is what I expect from a candle. The performance from this vanilla eggnog is what I expect from a candle. I want to be able to walk into the room and have a room-filling fragrance. I want it to be, leaking out into my living room, into other rooms. I want it to be able to perform well in an open concept, even though this house is not an open concept. I certainly would anticipate that it would do fairly well even in an open concept. So this met and exceeded my expectations, because my bar was low after the past 2 months of burning Yankees. I have yet to try a Yankee 3-wick, so I do wonder how their 3-wick formulation compares to Bath and Body Works, if I would get decent performance. I think I'm going to pick one up during the semi-annual sale after the holidays, because I am really curious now, because I think if it did well if Yankee did well in a 3-wick, I would be more willing to try some of the fragrances that I'm maybe not even that impressed with, just because I getting good performance, that's key for me. Even if I'm not completely in love with a fragrance, if it performs well, that's exciting for me. So yeah, really enjoying this Bath and Body Works candle. You can see it's a very clean burn. I will pick you up to show you. Very clean burn. It really required no babysitting at all. There is no sooting so far. You can see it's a little bit less than halfway down. So we've got a ways to go. So I think there's certainly a possibility that we may see some sooting, because we do have some pretty good flames on those wicks right now, but it's creating a nice deep wax pool, and thus also probably part of why I'm getting such fantastic fragrance throw from it right now. But yeah, a beautiful burn. Obviously not, I don't think I have ever had an issue with tunneling with Bath and Body Works 3-wicks candles. It's just not possible with with 3 flames going, in that diameter of wax. So, but yeah, certainly no problems with that here. And the wax itself, just to comment on the appearance of the candle, it's a really pretty color. It's giving a really nice glow. I do not have my flash on at all. I've got pretty much no lights on in my kitchen besides my Christmas lights that I have around the window and my warmers. And you can see that it's really throwing some beautiful light onto the wall there. So very pleasant that way as well. And I actually like the label. I think it's a super cute label. I like that it's kind of see-through, so that you're really getting the full effect of the ambiance of that candlelight. So that is about it. That is vanilla eggnog. And I would recommend, if you are interested in a custard-like gourmand, if that's not your wheelhouse though, if you don't like that custard smell, you've had it in wax before, it's not your thing, this probably wouldn't be something that you'd enjoy, because it's definitely a very creamy vanilla custard type of fragrance. However, it is something that I really enjoy. This is actually, I just did a pharmacist's daughter haul, and the custard that I'm smelling here is very similar to the custard that I was smelling in, I think it was gingerbread custard was what I ordered, is very similar to the custard note in that that fragrance and that souffle. So excited to melt that when it's had enough cure time. So I'm thinking about maybe doing just kind of a wax chat to, again, I want to keep myself up for a little bit tonight, so I may do a little bit of a wax chat, because I have gone through a few wax melts that I think are worthy of talking about, some vendor wax, so I may do that. But otherwise, if you have burned this candle, if you've tried vanilla eggnog, what did you think of it? What was your experience with the fragrance? Was it something that you enjoyed? Are you picking up on that same, you know, beautiful creamy custard? You know, did anyone smell that plastic note? I'm really curious, because after hearing that, I just totally did not get that, like, at all. And oftentimes I do smell a lot of what the other candle reviewers smell. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. There was a peach candle maybe a couple years ago that was like cat urine smelling, and I totally picked up on that. So anyway, I'm curious to know if anyone else got a plasticky note, because I certainly didn't. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like. And if you enjoy my content in general, I welcome more subscribers.